Hello, Dane from Arcadia here with a review for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Alright, let's take it from the top. First met our hero in 2018 Spider-Man for the PS4, where we witnessed the death of his father Jefferson Davis and saw Miles acquire his spider powers. In the time since, he has been training with Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man, and has moved with his mother from Brooklyn to his abuela's old apartment in Harlem. After a quick mission escorting a prison convoy full of some thugs from the last game, Peter informs Miles that he will be going out of town for a few weeks, and that Miles is now New York's only Spider-Man. As Miles was tutored in combat by Pete, players of 2018's Spider-Man will find your starting moveset very familiar, a skill set that most critics described as making you feel like Spider-Man. The biggest change to the moveset, though, coming from Miles' unique abilities, the Venom Strike and Camouflage. Venom Strike works similar to Focus from 2018, a bar that fills as you attack and dodge, which then allows you to deal a powerful stunning blow to enemies, while Camouflage allows for easier sneaking around enemies and to return to stealth even while in the middle of encounters. Insomniac managed to trim the fat of 2018's gadget system by reducing the number of gadgets from 8 down to 4. Personally, I only ever used 3 or 4 of the gadgets before, so this was a welcome change for me. Although the skill tree I found rather lacking, as each new level would usually only unlock one new skill choice at a time, leading to a rather linear progression path and making me question why even bother with having a skill tree. The biggest change for Miles Morales doesn't come from the gameplay, but from the story. When we played as Peter in 2018, we got to skip the origin and got a Spider-Man with a rather fleshed out rogues gallery, which made the story focus more on Spider-Man fighting his villains rather than Peter living his life. But for Miles, it is a story which I found to be much more relatable and centered in his community and coming into his own as his own Spider-Man. Miles is joined by his friend Genki, who will be his man in the chair throughout the adventure, talking out story beats, developing new items to help Miles fight crime, and creating the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app. The app works as a portal for you to connect to the people of New York and will send you on missions from tracking down a lost cat to locating stolen goods. These side missions are really where the game shines, in my opinion. These are characters that you will see throughout the story, not just in these single missions, which makes it more impactful every time you see them, whether it be hanging out in a crowd or enjoying a street festival. I would even be happy to see a few of them return in more games. It is also in these side missions that we see Insomniac's efforts at diverse representation, which include a street artist named Haley and a mural that boosts a message we all still need to hear. I hope to see more representation like this from games in the future. My initial playthrough of Miles Morales, I played on an original 500GB PS4, which I encountered a handful of small glitches that would either get me stuck in a small crevice or the audio would be out of whack, leading me to have to reload from a past checkpoint to restore the game to proper order. As I started on my New Game Plus, I encountered 3 hard crashes of the game, kicking me back to the PS4 main hub. Though, with frequent autosaves, none of this cost me more than minor inconvenience and a few minutes of time. There are moments in this game that feel like they might have been created with the PS5's 3D audio in mind. There are a few times where you will be asked to track down the location of an item by sound. Playing on PS4 with my TV speakers didn't really give any indication to where the sound was located, but only raised the volume by proximity, which makes me think this is not how the developers would ideally want you to play these segments. It took me 11 hours to beat the game in my first playthrough, taking the time to go out of my way for collectibles and explore the map a bit more. But even in that time, it really left me wanting more. So much so that I immediately jumped into my New Game Plus. While Miles Morales doesn't bring anything new gameplay-wise, it still manages to refine the buttery smooth gameplay of Spider-Man 2018. With how short and compelling the main story is, I wouldn't be surprised if people replayed this game like how you might rewatch a favorite movie. That's why if you really enjoy replaying games, I highly recommend you pick up Miles Morales. But if you are more of a one and done player, perhaps wait for a sale. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice day!